I get 25,000 steps in probably every day. Right?
25,000 steps?
25,000?
That's
Can you
like
prove it
10
to us on your
miles.
iPhone? Show it to us.
If my family doesn't believe me, I don't even
my
want to be
God.
part of this anymore.
Oh my God.
There is no honor
Let
in
the
this
guilt
family.
trip begin.
Hello, namaste. Auntie Zarna here. So excited to welcome you to our new episode of the Zarna Garg family podcast. Today, we only have 4 Gargs in the house because the 5th Garg decided to go play the basketball tryout for school, even though I told him not to go because we all know that there is nothing in basketball for us. But anyway, he said he has to go, so we let him go. And in the house today, we have my 17-year-old high school senior Bridge Garg, my daughter who's a college sophomore? What did call him?
College junior.
Junior in college. I should know that because the tuition is about to come to an end. Junior in college, Zoya Garg.
And
my
Zarna,
husband.
I am Shalab, your husband of 25 years, okay? Just so you don't forget.
You
just forgot Zoya. I thought you'd forget me too.
I didn't forget her. I forgot which year she was, which is a very perfectly normal thing to forget for all parents.
And 25 years. That's how long we've been married.
Okay. Let me do my job. My husband of 25 years, Shalab Garg. And we are so excited to welcome you to today's episode of the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. We are going to be talking about South Asians, Indians, and exercise. What is it that we like to do? What is it that we don't like to do? Basically anything exercise-wise, and how we can make changes. But we want to hear everything about what you guys are doing. No matter what culture you are, if you have tips and tricks for us, we want to hear them. But let's get into it right now. Of course, the number one exercise that Indians like to do, and the number one thing is what?
Yoga.
Walking, bridge, walking.
We talk about Indian people doing yoga.
We invented yoga, but as a people, we just think that if we eat a 5,000 calorie meal and then go for a walk, then that gets neutralized.
I think that people don't understand how much walking is necessary in order to counteract a meal or to get any sort of fitness required.
How much walking do you believe?
You would need at least 10,000 steps to get any sort of substantial exercise.
I agree.
That's not true. That's not true.
So.
I do agree with you that you need rigorous exercise, but walking is a perfectly acceptable way to, work out.
If you walk a lot.
No,
if you walk
not
like
necessarily.
a little bit, you're not sweating.
I'll tell you what has worked for me. Something has clearly worked for me to look the way I do. Correct?
Okay.
You look great,
and
Dad.
what has worked for me is a mixture of intermittent fasting and exercise. Do you guys know what is intermittent fasting?
Yes.
Okay, but this episode is about exercise. We're going to focus
we'll forget about intermittent fasting. And for exercise, I would very strongly recommend one of these exercising outfits. Am I allowed to take names?
Yeah, but outfits, that's what you want to talk about?
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, that's actually
that's a really good point.
That is not a good point.
That is
a good point.
Why
what you work out in.
Down?
That's a good point.
What does the outfit have to do with anything?
It motivates you. You know the phrase
agree.
Look good, play good. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
it sounds like
play
a
slogan.
Good. You
sounds
made
like
that
a slogan that some outfitting company made up.
There is this Brazilian company called Track and Field, and I very strongly recommend getting outfitting clothes from them.
What is it about a good workout outfit, Dad, that makes you want to exercise?
I mean, something that's fitting yet comfortable, and fitting to a normal human being, not like, someone who's already fit and extremely good looking, right? That's not very helpful. So something that is, like, for example, for shorts, I like them to be square at the bottom as opposed to these loosey-goosey shorts that are hanging everywhere. To have shorts to run in which you can put your phone or something to hold it, right? Functionality. Similarly, your AirPods, when you're carrying your AirPods to run in, you need that little white thing.
Yeah, I run with that thing in my hand.
Yeah, and that's why you keep losing your AirPods.
That makes no sense. There is no proper outfitting so where you can hold your AirPod holding cover, right? I can't believe that Apple itself hasn't made one.
They haven't made one because it benefits their business model for you to lose your AirPods. Why would they create technology?
Okay.
Or yeah,
Or
Mom.
you could just wear the wired headphones, which you don't use because it's
But you
connected to your
cannot. There
phone.
is no wire. Then you have to use then you have to use tape on your ears so they don't keep falling off of your ears when you're
Tape?
running.
What
You're
is
gonna
wrong
duct
with
tape
your
your
ears?
AirPod into your ear?
Something is wrong with your ears.
But
No.
hold on, this is a good point though. Overall, that music is really essential to working out for me. For many people, not everyone, but for me specifically, like when I listen to music, I get in the zone so much easier. I feel like I can do a lot more. I'm more excited to work out just because
What kind of music you like when you're working out?
upbeat, like fast tempo
Bollywood
music.
dance music?
No, like
Boom, boom,
it
boom.
doesn't have to be Bollywood dance music. It could be anything really upbeat that makes you like something to sing along to. So I like listening to songs I know already, and then I could just like sing along while I'm working out, I'm moving weight, or I'm running fast.
Who are your favorite? What is your favorite workout playlist? We should ask that. Everybody who's listening, we would love to know what is your favorite.
Yeah, what's your
workout
favorite
music?
workout playlist?
Well, I know
I'll
that
tell you-
Mom
No,
watches
hold on.
listens to
Yes,
the Bollywood
and
music.
I get 25,000 steps in probably every day. Right? Just around
25,000 steps.
25,000.
around the-
That's
Can
like
you prove
10
it to us on your
miles.
iPhone? Show it to us.
I don't hold on. If my family doesn't believe me, I don't even
Oh my
want to be
God.
part of this.
Oh my
There
god.
is no honor
Let
in
the
this
guilt
family.
trip begin.
I do easily. Bridge, tell them 2022 easily all day when I'm walking around the kitchen counter. What do you think? That's not adding up. That is also walking. Indoor walking is also walking, and I play the music on YouTube. I play all my Bollywood dance songs on YouTube. It's the best. It's the way to get stuff done. Then I clean the house, I clean the counter, I wipe the floors, I sweep the floors, and all that is another.
That is
5,000.
actually
When
true.
did you sweep the floors?
No, Dad. It actually
Do I
is
not?
true.
Somebody tell him.
No. And when I was in London, Mom visited me and was horrified by the state of my apartment, which she should have been because it was horribly gross. And I was so overwhelmed with how dirty it was. And then all of a sudden, Mom put some what soundtrack? I wish I could remember which Bollywood song it was, but she played 6 Bollywood songs in a row, and this woman cleaned every inch of the room in like 30 seconds. It was the most wild. It was so wild. She was so productive. So actually, there is truth to that.
Thank you.
Music is essential.
Your dad
Music
thinks
is
the apartment
essential.
just looks the way it does, and I do, and that's why I'm saying 20,000. So I hit like this only, like this only in the morning.
One thing we haven't talked about because
20,000.
Bridge mentioned walking. Dad runs. I know something
And
that
Orange
has
Theory.
been.
I do Orange Theory.
Yes, and Orange Theory, which is actually what brings me to my next point, was one thing that we as a family have adopted post-pandemic has been lifting weights. I don't know if this was because we were watching. I think it was inspired by Bridge because Bridge wanted to become bigger because he was just like a very skinny. You would say you were a skinnier kid as a teenager. And you wanted to become bigger. And I remember when you were researching, you found out that building muscle for women was super valuable as well. And so one thing that has completely changed in the last 5 years is I lift weights probably 4 times minimum a week. And I feel like it's completely changed how I work out because and how I live, because instead of worrying about what I'm eating or like if I'm eating too little or how to calorie count, those
Zoya,
different
what's
things.
your favorite exercise? Favorite weight
Well,
exercise?
I usually go to the gym by myself, and I have my I do a compound lift to begin with, so I'll squat something really heavy, or I'll bench, or I'll deadlift, and then I'll supplement with little exercises, and then I usually end with like 10 minutes of cardio. I also do a lot of yoga, which is like my supplement to my like weight training. But I do feel like as the Indian community continues to figure out exercise, one thing that American people do really, really well that I feel like we should bring into our own practice is they lift. And I think it's taboo because that's just a very American thing to do. But it's completely changed the way that I like my lifestyle.
I think in India, I've heard of men lifting weights and stuff. Like you associate, you know how Shalab in India, it's all the Pelwans who are like lifting weights in the villages.
Pelwans and really?
Pelwans,
Like
it's
wrestlers.
like wrestlers.
But that's like in the cities, it's different, Zarna. Like young people are doing it too. I don't know which
I'm sure they are.
era you're talking about.
Oh, because you belong to a different era.
I mean, I belong mentally at least to a much younger era.
Okay, whatever.
I will say though, from my perspective, as like a boy, as someone who started lifting weights around like ninth grade-ish, 9th, 10th grade, it is a fact. I don't care what science, I don't have any science to back this up, but it is a fact that Indian men and women, it's 10 times harder for them to gain weight, like muscle mass, than white people. Like, it is just harder. You can go to the gym just as much as any of your white friends, and they will all get bigger than you just because like our bodies just do not gain the same amount of muscle for some reason. I don't get it. All my Indian friends would agree with that. They all like all my Indian friends and my white friends, we all go to the gym, but they just gain muscle at a much, much faster rate, and
That
you can
is
see it
because
much
all
quicker.
our muscle is going inside our heads. That is because we are the biggest head circumference of all races, and that is where it is all going. That because we're going to produce the next generation of doctors, computer people, engineers. That's why
people.
that is there.
But the reason why I'm saying that is that if
You
you were
think Gandhi was lifting weights? Have you seen Gandhi? He was 90 pounds.
okay, the reason why I'm saying that is
And
if
15
you were
of that pounds
Oh my
was in that
God.
diaper thing he was wearing.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying that is because if you're like a boy or girl and you're younger and you're trying to gain muscle mass so you can become stronger, you have to really be careful about every single thing you're doing. Like, you need to be consistent in going to the gym. You need to have a good diet. Like, you don't want to be eating pizza every day or stuff that isn't going to contribute to your overall gain of muscle mass. You need to be, I use protein powder, but that's why I
hate
recommend
that you
it.
do that.
But you should
I
definitely
hate-
eat a lot of
Why
protein
I
if you
eat
know.
protein powder too. What's the problem with protein powder?
It feels like a lot of chemicals. It just feels like a lot
No,
of
you can
chemicals.
get veggie protein powder made
Yeah,
out
but
of
that's also, it's not like you're eating a broccoli. They just put veggie on the container, doesn't mean it's got vegetables in it.
I mean,
Well, it is-
you need
it is-
a
yeah.
source of protein, and that's a
Yeah.
ready-made source of protein. I mix it with peanut butter and a banana. And
But
then
I
have
think
it.
one thing that we haven't really talked about that I think Bridge is touching on is what are our goals with exercise, right? Because I think the four of us have very different goals. Bridge just mentioned I can't get big no matter how hard I try in comparison to my other friends. Like, would you say, Bridge, your goal with exercise is to just look like stronger?
Mine
Is
purely
it a visual?
mine is purely aesthetic. Like, I want to look bigger, but I know a lot of people use it athletically too. So a lot of people work out like certain ways to get them stronger for certain sports, to get them stronger for certain activities. Whereas like you'll see a lot of people who will lift a lot of mass and get a lot of bigger, but not like when you look at them, you might think that they're fatter just because they're not like running as much, not doing as much cardio, but they might be doing that for a certain activity. Whereas for me, like I'm trying to stay lean. Like I want to look like fit, but you know, there's many different types of ways to do it. You just have to be really careful, and everything doesn't matter if you don't have a good diet. Like you need to have a good diet to be paired with it.
And
no
you
matter
also have
what.
to sleep. You also have to
Yeah, you
sleep.
need to get
That's one of the
sleep.
things. I learned this during yoga teacher training. There is no point in exercising if you have not slept. Because in order for your body to actually transform any movement that you've made into muscle or to actually digest calories more quickly, like any benefit that you get from exercising is only capitalized upon if you have had enough sleep to actually
support sleep.
assist those
I support
processes.
sleep.
We all
You
know
support sleep. We know you support
Shalab,
sleep.
you support sleep.
But Dad and Mom, what do you think your goals are with exercise versus Bridge, which is more
I
aesthetic?
know my doctor wants me to lift weights. She's after my life to lift weights all the time. It's like, lift weights. And I tell her that I do. But I don't. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
It's just easier to lie to her at this point because she hounds me, and then it's very annoying, and I don't know when to lift weights. And honestly, it's a little intimidating for me to even think of going to the gym and lifting weights. Everybody there seems to know what they're doing, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's a real problem.
That's a
very
real
scared
point,
of
Mom. That's a
really real
injuring
problem.
myself. I'm really terrified of injuring myself. I have so many commitments that I cannot be breaking my back, my arm, because like, ooh, I didn't know, and I pulled the thing on the machine. I mean, so I just tell the doctor that I did, basically.
Well, that's not really a solution, but I do think it's true. Like, what do you think would make it less intimidating for you, Mom?
I don't know. I mean, I know people hire trainers and all, but all these trainers, even at their lowest setting, are so aggressive.
But they're trying to get you to like move.
Yeah, but
they should be aggressive.
they're talking to somebody who's like not exercising. They'll be like, okay, let's just run for 15 minutes. But okay, I never ran in my life. Like 15 minutes is a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you stand there and you tell them that, like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought you were beginning level, and they think they are, but I just don't think any of them have worked with people who just haven't exercised beyond walking.
Yeah.
So
Weren't you
it's
the-
just the
I don't
Weren't
think
you
that's true. I mean, the trainers that I've had, and when I started off with them, they were very considerate and they understood it. They worked for people with all ranges and slowly rolled me out. And I don't know if I agree with that. Intimidation part, I do agree, because even at Orange Theory or Barry's, people are like in fantastic shape and keeping up with everything that the trainer is doing. And that's an intimidating environment to work out in. It takes a person like of my, you know, abilities to be able to keep up with
Oh
it. But
my
I
goodness.
understand that it's intimidating, you know?
Well,
do get
okay.
that.
Actually, yeah,
As well, I just wanted to bring up there's this saying that I really like that was saying that the best form of exercise is whatever you do consistently. That it at the end of the day, yes, obviously optimizing is good. Obviously, it would be good to like lift weights or to do certain exercises, but at the end of the day, whatever you do consistently is valuable, right? Like if you're dancing and you're dancing on a consistent basis, that's just as good for your body as anything else because you're doing it. And I think one of the things that I love about yoga, not to like be like, Mom, you should do yoga with me, is I feel that yoga is such a valuable form of exercise for the body because it's so low impact, right? And it's mostly you can do a lot of postures on your forehand, your hands and knees, and a lot of them are very intuitive and made for many shapes. For example, Dad's brother, like who has been doing yoga, actually Dad's brother and Mom's brother, independent of one another, I found out have been doing yoga consistently for the past year. And actually Mom's brother has been doing it since he like came out of the womb apparently, and both of them look amazing. Like they look so healthy, especially Dad's brother has lost so much weight just doing vinyasa, which is the same 3 postures like over and over and over again, and he's really
What does
seen
it
the
look
difference.
like? Can you do it? So I just want to see which one is it.
I can tell you exactly what it is. You start standing up, then you fold, then inhale, you halfway lift, exhale, plank to chaturanga, so halfway, which you can do on your knees, then upward facing dog, where you do a little back bend, and then downward facing dog, where you come in the upside down V. That's all of it. That's the whole sequence. And Jumpy Chacha, who's my uncle, does like, he started off doing 3 of those every morning, and now he's doing up to 50.
yeah, but that is gonna help him lose weight.
He's lost so much. Have you seen him? He looks amazing.
Just doing up, down like that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a lot of strengthening in your body because in many ways it's calisthenics, right? You have to hold yourself up. You have to hold yourself in different positions. Like, you know, actually, you know, like pulling myself back a little bit with the, you know, lifting weights. Your own body is a weight, right? So whenever you're doing any posture to hold yourself up, those are all technically strengthening exercises.
But then, isn't walking also a strength-bearing exercise? Because you're carrying your whole body weight every time you walk,
Oh
obviously.
my God, but that's just a natural way of human beings.
Okay, but what? Oh my God, every Indian walks. Like, we have to talk about walking, which is the
I mean,
reigning
like,
champion.
you want to talk about every Indian walks? All of us have cardiovascular issues and like horrible health problems. Do we or do we not?
Well, a lot of it started in UP with the aloo parathas you guys start your day with. It didn't start with the Gujaratis. I'll tell you that. Like in our community, we
Right.
didn't
So
start
you're
our
not
day.
having the arm rest. You're not having the arm rest laden with
Okay,
sugar.
the
obviously.
armrest is dessert. Okay, it is dessert. We talk about that on another episode. But we definitely don't start our day with the aloo paratha that is drenched in ghee.
I also
That's actually
want
pretty good.
Oh,
I want to circle
okay.
back
Ghee is not
because
a bad thing.
Bridge wanted to say something earlier.
What bridge?
Do you
Well, I
remember?
don't remember anymore, but
Okay,
I will
well,
say
one
one
thing
thing.
that-
I will
yeah.
say one thing. Actually, hold on. This is for mom, dad, and like all the people above 21 in the world. So actually, Didi too, because she is now eligible. Alcohol is one of the worst things you can ever do when you're trying to either grow muscle or stay fit. It is the worst
2
thing.
weeks alcohol free, by the way.
Yes, it's
Okay, Bridge,
extremely
who-
impressive. Nice.
Who taught you the alcohol?
It
thing,
is.
Bridge?
I'll
Tell the
explain it.
truth.
I'll explain it. I'm gonna get a little sciencey. Okay.
Okay, Bridge.
So
Oh, my son is going to be doctor. Oh. Okay, go, Bridge. You be sciencey, Bridge. You be. Go tell us.
okay.
I'm actually gonna cry.
Okay. So in everyone's human bodies, we all have cells. Every single human has, actually every single living organism has
He
cells.
knows about the cells.
Oh my God, Mal, can I just explain this one thing? And it has nothing to do with anything. Okay. So obviously cells need to communicate with each other in order for your body to function properly. So they'll send messages to each other, helping proteins move. So they send messages to each other. I have this protein. I'm going to send it to you. I need you to do this with this protein. So one of these things is called protein synthesis. So when you're building muscle, your cells send messages to encourage protein synthesis and build that muscle. Use that muscle and put it in your body. But when you drink alcohol has certain chemicals that can disrupt or inhibit certain signaling pathways. So that will basically make it so that your cell won't be able to tell the other cell that it needs to do protein synthesis, which prevents your muscle from growing, which is why alcohol is considered to be like the worst type. You do not want alcohol if you're trying to get bigger. You don't want alcohol if you're trying to get thin. You don't want alcohol if you're trying to gain muscle. It is the worst thing. If you are trying to become fit, you need to cut out alcohol from your diet. Straight up.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way.
Well, I also just think that
What
you
about
need
the green juice? Is green juice allowed?
No, the green juice is not allowed.
Well, not the green juice that mom was drinking, that's for sure. But I think Bridge brings up a good point where lifestyle is such a big supporting factor of exercise, right? Like if you're not sleeping, if you're not eating properly, if you're drinking a lot, it's really going to be hard to exercise on a consistent basis. And I think that one thing that I feel that my generation has really benefited from, and this is going to sound silly, and it kind of comes back to Dad's point about apparel, but it is so commonplace now to walk around in your workout leggings. And then for some reason that makes you want to walk more, or it makes you want to like go to the gym more. Like in New York, one thing that I've always noticed is women walk around in their aloe leggings and their like workout duffel bag just because it encourages them to feel excited about the Pilates class that they're going to, or to see their friend for a quick coffee and to walk around with that coffee instead of just sitting at a coffee table. So I do think that strangely enough, like not only lifestyle changes, but like our generation, there's just a lot more athletics / exercise facilitators built into our culture that I don't feel like was true when you guys were growing up, especially in India.
No, and also, like, not to mention, because I'm at the forefront of fashion in this household.
You are at the forefront of fashion, Mom. I actually will give it to you.
Wearing sneakers everywhere is okay now, which actually is probably the most, activating force in wanting to move, is the fact that your feet are comfortable and grounded. And, we as a family wear sneakers everywhere. I started that before your dad takes credit.
I mean, now very specific kind of sneakers, but yes.
No, I don't like the sneakers you like. Shalab, you're the sneakers.
Okay, let's not get into the
everybody
branding sneakers.
are absolutely trash, and I don't like them at all. But the sneakers, there are many options in the market, and basically just wearing sneakers everywhere makes sure that you walk a little extra, for sure. Because if you're in those dress shoes that are uncomfortable and heels and stuff, like, you just don't want to walk even the little bit that you're supposed to. That's why they're called not walking shoes, which is now we know is a bunch of bullshit. But coming back to Bridge's point, which, by the way, I'm just not going to talk. I hope that the world saw how much he understands about nutrition and health and why.
That was amazing, Bridge.
Right?
That was amazing. I will be honest, that was amazing.
Yet, and this kid is like, I'm not even going to say it because he understands the cells and how they talk about each other and all of that. I'm going to start crying if I think about it. But the issue of being South Asian and exercise and the impact of exercise is a very real thing. We have something called metabolic syndrome. I've heard from doctors where, we are more prone to heart disease. We are more prone to diabetes and all. So I guess if we had to come up with like top 3 exercise tips for our community, what would it be? For each one of us. Top 3 exercise tips. I can go first if you guys want time to think.
Yeah.
Because I'm always ready. One is wear sneakers everywhere. That is key for me to move. If I'm not in comfortable shoes, it's not going to happen. 2 is, yes, the outfitting and all is important, but I think basically any comfortable outfitting. Like, I walk a lot in my kurta and my yoga pants because that's how I like to dress. I don't like to wear the tight things that all these workout people like to put out, all the lycra spandex. That's not for me. And 3 is to actually take walking seriously. we as a community love to walk. But to Bridget's point, you have to walk a lot and you have to walk intentionally. What I have learned is that there's a difference between walking and sauntering. You know what I mean? You actually have to walk. You're not just like if you're just window shopping and walking like 3 steps a minute, that's not really walking. Even though it's better than sitting or lying down, you need to actually just get the steps in. So I think because the Indians love to walk in general, let's double down on the one thing that we love to do and let's just do a lot more of it. What would be your 3 tips for our
Okay, I'll
community?
go.
I guess for me, okay, go.
No, you go.
Right, mine is specifically for my age Indian men, not for population at large, because that's what I know best. One, eat once a day. Give up breakfast in particular. There's no reason for a grown person to have something in their mouth right after they've woken up and the body is just finished doing the hard work of absorbing everything you ate before you went to bed. Second, groom yourself. That includes a nice haircut, that includes wearing nice clothes, that includes wearing high quality. It's not just the woman's job to look good, it's the men's job too. The more you groom yourself, the more you will want to lose the weight so that you can fit into those nice clothes.
That is so true, Dad.
Thank you. And what? Why are you like...
That was who will do anything. Literally, if you just sit there and say, you should brush your teeth there.
Mom, that was such a... Oh my God. That's not what he said.
Teeth, Colgate, give us a proposal right now. Like, literally, he's saying the most obvious thing. And you
It's
guys
not
are,
obvious. That was such
the
a unique
bar on
insight.
Being a father is so low, it's like shocking to me. Anyway, why don't you, Shalab, make your third thing, take a shower once a week. Okay, what is your third one?
Well, I just got done with the second one, which was around grooming. And grooming includes, by the way, going to a nice barber, not a salon, but an actual barber. And then a third is, exercise either at Orange Theory or Barry's, like a group exercise place, because it's much easier for a, type A man to feel motivated with younger people around. And, those younger people will keep you on your toes, because they will finish all the things that the instructor is saying, and you most likely will not be able to keep up with them. But if you do halfway to them or get to halfway to the 27, 28-year-old people that are completing those exercises, you'll still do a much better workout than you would on your own.
Shalab,
Okay.
full disclosure, who told you to go to these group classes? Tell the world right now.
Okay, I used to, yes, you did.
How many years I told you go to the group exercise classes, it's right for you? Okay, anyway,
fine.
I'm not the type to ask for credit, so...
You just asked for credit. You
I'm
actually
not the
just
type,
asked for credit.
I don't want to...
You're
I
in
will
fact
not
defining that type in front of all of
I will not take a
us.
stains on my character like this. Go, Bridge.
My first tip to everyone who's, I guess, more my age, if you're a guy or a girl, honestly, who's within like 18 to 22, just out of high school. First tip, 100%, don't surround yourself with people who like to smoke or drink like every Friday and Saturday night. Don't surround yourself with those types of people, because they're just never going to make you, you're always going to feel like you don't need to work out when you're around them. You're just always going to feel that.
What was that?
What was that?
Bridge just dropped a bar.
A bar.
You know what that means?
But yeah, that's my
Dropped a
first
bar.
tip. Honestly, if you surround yourself with people who like to like go for walks, I find it's so difficult for me to find people who just enjoy going for walks nowadays. It's just very difficult to find that. So if finding those types of people and then surrounding yourself by them, it'll 100% encourage you to work out. Then 2, this is something I learned when I was started, and this was definitely the most effective thing for me, is throughout everything you do, like your whole day, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth just at random times. Like, don't always be doing that.
Should we take a breath together?
Doctor.
Yeah, we can do it.
It's awesome.
I don't even want to. I'm going to start crying right now.
I like
Wait,
Breathe
that actually
in
made
through
me
your
feel...
nose and out through the nose. What
Bridge,
is
lead it.
Breathe
Lead
in
it.
through. Go like this. Ready?
Lead it for the rest of the people who are watching the podcast.
Okay. Breathe in through your nose for 3. 1, 2, 3. Then out. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, out
Just
through
like
the
that.
nose or the
Out through the
I'm
mouth.
like, oh, you didn't say that first.
I think it's pretty
He actually
self-explanatory, and I
did say
did
it
say
already.
that. I said
Okay.
through the nose and out through the mouth. Definitely when you're exercising, I remember when I used to play football, one of the big things my coach taught me, this was I remember when he taught me this, because it was that impactful for me, was every time I ran, he kept telling me, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. The amount of running I was able to do after that was just exponentially increased. The amount of drive I had after that exponentially increased. And applying that to so many other things, like testing, to doing homework, hanging out with people you don't want to, working out, like all those things, it just makes it easier and it makes you better at doing it. So that's my second major tip. And then third tip, this is just purely if you want to build more muscle, eat your body weight in protein. Try and get as much protein in your diet as possible. Eat chicken, and that doesn't mean steak, because I a lot of the times will just eat steak thinking, okay, that's protein, this is it. But red meat's actually not good for your body as well. So try and get as much chicken in your diet. That's basically what I'm going to say. Like, I go to Chipotle a lot, and they have really good chicken, even though like, I think it's really good chicken, and it works for me. But you can definitely find chicken anywhere.
Show us your six pack. Come on, show us your six pack.
Yeah.
No, we are not okay. We are not doing that.
Okay, can I go?
Yes, Bridge.
Okay.
That was so
Bridge, that was
just
excellent.
I don't want to
That was-
say it, Bridge, but destiny is pulling you
But
in
my
a
God.
direction.
Yeah, you're saying you don't want to.
I'm not the micromanaging type, but the hand of God is pulling you in a direction.
Hand
that
of God, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
there
so
you go.
yeah, do you have 3 tips? Oh, what happened?
Yes, I do. My 3 health, wellness, and exercise tips are: first, do not think of working out as a 60-minute gig. There are so many people who only think that a good optimized workout is you have to be somewhere for 45 minutes to 60 minutes. I could not disagree with that more, especially when you're starting out. Even 10 minutes a day is valuable. Consistency over it's like so much better to do 10 minutes a day rather than do like 60 minutes twice a week, like don't burn yourself out, enjoy it and enjoy it for those 10 minutes. Then my second health and exercise tip is take your meetings on walks. I take so many calls, so many meetings on a walk. I'm walking everywhere all the time. It's almost outrageous. And I've actually been called out by it by multiple of my friends where they're like, Zoya, literally every single time I see you on campus, you're just bouncing around with your computer out and your phone. Like, what are you even doing? But to me, I get a lot of clarity on my walks and I'm able to articulate myself better when I'm walking. And so I find that it's an easy way to just, get movement in and get some time in the sun. And then my third tip, which is very female focused, is eat food. I think that it's really sad what social media and a lot of the culture around eating has done to so many women. I've had a lot of friends personally suffer from body dysmorphia and, problems with comparison of am I eating too much? Am I eating too little? It makes me feel so devastated. And I always say that I attribute the fact that I am able to eat full healthy meals to my mom, because I did grow up with a mom who personally ate properly and or not properly, but ate what she wanted and ate full and sustaining meals. And I guess my one tip is if you're eating protein every day, if you're making sure that there are macros in your meals that will make sure that you feel sustained. For example, one thing that I do is, and I got this from my roommate, is in the mornings after I work out, one of my treats to myself is I eat a Greek yogurt with a date and a bunch of walnuts and a bunch of hazelnuts. And that treat is what makes me look forward to completing my workout is I'm going to get to eat this wonderful yogurt afterwards. And I eat so much food. I eat 6 meals a day. And that's just me. I mean, that's what I do. But I guess as a woman, prioritize eating protein and don't limit yourself, because that's the worst thing you can do in the long term.
This is good. I love all these tips. And Shalab, do you have anything you want to add? Because I know that something's on your mind about anything that I said you need to add to this. Soya, the walnut date Greek yogurt thing is a good thing, but I just want to remind you that the Indians created that trend first.
The Indians did not create Greek yogurt.
No, the Indians created yogurt with nuts and fruit. That's what people in India eat all the time. And then the Greeks, of course, they come in and they take over some of our stories. They took over our stories. That's what happened. Then they said, no, you eat our yogurt with your mixes. That's what really happened. But okay, no problem. We are also the sharing type, so it's fine. But I hope, listen, you guys have given such good tips. We've opened up the conversation about Indian people, South Asian people, and exercise and health and fitness. We would love to hear so much from you guys, what you guys are doing that's working for you, what you've done that didn't work for you. We want to hear all about it. Please drop us comments. We are listening, we are watching, we are learning from you, as we hope we are being informative to you. And we end every episode with a segment called Good Grades with Gargs, where each one of us assigns an A grade to somebody in the room based on the winning moment in the podcast, the most entertaining, the most enlightening. So who wants to go first assigning
wanna
the
go
good
first.
grade?
I want to go first. Okay, Bridge, you go first.
Bridge
You go
said
I'll go
first.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridge.
I think the A grade for this episode goes to Dad, because I think that the apparel and clothing aspect of working out is such an underrated aspect, because when you wear clothes that make you feel comfortable, that make you feel good, that you kind of want to show off, it makes you work 10 times harder. Every time I get a new pair of basketball shoes, instantly I want to play basketball for like a month, just because I want to show off my shoes. I want to play in my shoes. And that's just shoes. The clothes matter so much when it comes to working out. They matter a lot.
Okay, I want to go right after Bridge because
not gonna
I have the
comment
exact
on
point.
this. My husband clearly set himself up because he knew the kids are
You
going to
said you're not going to comment on this. You cannot say I am not going to comment on this and then comment on it.
I'm not the type to throw shade, so I'm not going to do it.
You just threw shade. You actually just did.
Go next. Who do you assign the A grade to?
I am very, very, very in line with Bridge on this episode. I feel that Dad very much deserves the A grade. I was going to say the apparel thing, but in addition to that, I thought that the point he made about grooming was so true. I personally, no, Mom, stop. Actually, stop. So for example, I get waxing done every month. If I don't get waxed, I feel like really gross in my own body. And as an Indian woman, hair grows back so quickly for me. And when I get my waxing services done, so like there's no hair on my body, I feel so much more confident working out because I'm not self-conscious about like showing off my arm hair or anything like that. So personally, being well-groomed does actually help me work out. And I thought that point was just so excellent and so timely because South Asian people understand it better than anybody.
Very good. And of course, again, I'm not going to comment on why you are aligning with your
can't
brother.
say that and then comment on it. It doesn't make sense.
In every episode, you two very coincidentally align with each other often. But okay. And, the bar for being a father is so low that if the guy says, just floss your teeth, they're like, whoa, wow.
That's not what he said.
That's not what he said at all.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and assign my A grade to Bridge today because I gave him what I'm now going to introduce a new feature in the episode, the bar drop. When he said, surround yourself with people who like to work out, who don't like to drink, who don't like to smoke, because the peer pressure is real in both ways. The peer pressure, when you go out to drink, everybody will make you act like if you're not drinking, something's wrong with you. And alternatively, if you go out with a group of healthy people and they want to walk that extra mile, you're going to feel like something's wrong with you if you don't walk that extra mile. So on the margin, surround yourself with people who have healthier tendencies. This is especially true for young people, but it is also true in our age group. My husband and I, we go out for dinner all the time. Usually we are the only ones not drinking or only having one drink. And we have to deal with it constantly. Have another drink. Let's order another bottle. And you know what that has done? That has created a life where we just don't want to go out with these people anymore. In addition to the health consequences, not to mention the money. It is so expensive to just blow money on random drinks all over the place. And if you go out in a group, and this should be a whole episode of itself, where you go out in a group and people order champagne bottles and caviar and all these things that we don't eat because we eat very simple foods. And then we end up having to pay for all of it. This is a whole another episode on splitting dinner costs. But thank you so much.
Splitting dinner costs.
Dinner costs.
You didn't let Dad give an A grade.
Dad gave an A grade, right?
No, he didn't.
You didn't give me an opportunity.
You cut him off because you were so upset with him.
All right. right. Okay, Dad. I guess he's gonna give an A grade. We know where it's gonna go. Obviously, go,
I have
Shalabh.
to give it to Bridge for the medical diagnosis of alcohol and the cells I don't even know, the cells talk to other cells and then don't talk to the other cells. I thought that was so pre-med. No question about it.
This has been such an exciting episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We want to hear everything you are doing, not doing, what's working, not working, and can't wait to see you at the next episode of the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.